just love the Twilight Zone. And over the years, I've gotten some people, including my wife, to watch some of those episodes with me and really get drawn in. Rod Serling was truly a master of writing and directing. Just be forewarned, there will be spoilers in most of these episodes, except for number 1, that one you have to see to believe. The monsters are due on Maple Street. This is about a little community of neighbors who get along just great. That is until one day they see what looks to be a meteor crash into Earth and explode some distance away. Soon after, the technology in their neighborhood starts to go kind of crazy. The lights start to flicker, the cars stop working, and things start to go a little bit wacky. This actually quickly induces some fear in the neighbors, who normally get along really well. Pete decides that he's going to go to the next street and talk to the neighbors there and see if maybe they're having the same issue. While he leaves, some characters like Charlie and Les meet to talk about what's been going on. Over time, as the technology malfunctions around them, the citizens begin to turn on one another, quickly believing that one or more of the residents are actually aliens. One of the resident children tells the adults that aliens have come down and are doing this exact thing to try to walk among them. As suspicions rise and the citizens start to turn on one another, a dark figure comes walking towards them. They realize it was Pete, the neighbor that had gone over to Floral Street to try and ask those people if they're experiencing the same thing. The residents turn on Charlie and attack him. Then he tries to deflect being an alien onto another resident. As all of the technology of the time starts to go haywire, lawnmowers turning on and off, car horns going off, the lights are flickering, the mob starts to turn on itself. And as it pans back, you realize that there are 2 humanoid aliens standing on a hilltop watching the scene unfold. They have a very simple device that is just turning on and off all of the technology in that neighborhood. They turn to each other and talk about how easy it will be to take over the human race.
And we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves. One to the other. One to the other.
This is such a great episode because it's a commentary on how easily humans will devolve into suspicion and abandon rationality in the face of danger. Something I actually covered in The Mist. Check that episode out when you have a minute. Number 2, To Serve Man. The episode opens with a man, Michael Chambers, laying on a cot, resigned to his fate. A voice tells him that he needs to eat, exercise, and be healthy. The episode then flashes back to what had happened several months earlier, when some aliens come down called the Canimets. The leader of the Canimets comes down to talk to the equivalent of the United Nations to discuss how they want to share technology with humanity in order to reduce food shortage, war, and really any sort of issues that humanity is currently facing. They say that they want to serve man, and that is a tome that he leaves with the United Nations to decipher. The man you saw in the beginning, Michael Chambers, is a cryptographer, and he and his team are going to decipher this tome to find out what is really in it. They're the ones who find out that the tome is called To Serve Man. The Canamet leader is even put on a lie detector test, where the United Nations are asking all sorts of questions. He passes with flying colors, further proving that the Canimets are a peaceful race that want to help humanity. The Canimets show every country how to create a force field so that way they don't need to worry about war and therefore can disband their militaries. They turn deserts into blooming fields, and they essentially do everything that they said they would do. The Canimets then invite humans onto their spaceship so that they can show them their homeworld. The people across the world are fully bought in to the Canimets and their humanitarian endeavors. They sign up one by one to go onto the Canamet spaceship and see this beautiful homeworld that they have. Chambers decides he wants to go on the spaceship and see the Canamet's homeworld for himself. However, as he's about to get onto the spaceship, Patty, one of the people who's on his deciphering team, finds out the true nature of the book To Serve Man.
In 3 minutes.
Mr. Chambers, don't get on that ship. The rest of the book, it's a cookbook.
Chambers is forced onto the ship at that moment. The episode ends with him in the present, throwing the food on the floor. A Canamet comes in and telepathically tells him that he must eat. He must eat and get fat so that they can serve man at their next dinner. Number 1, will the real Martian please stand up? In this episode, a spaceship crashes near a diner, and 2 police officers go to check it out. The officers enter the diner and see several patrons and workers. They think an alien has escaped from the spaceship and is hiding amongst the people here. The next 20 minutes is spent trying to figure out who the alien really is, with each character having something of a hole in their story that makes them suspicious. 9 people are in this diner, and the viewer is left trying to figure out who the alien is while the police officers go from person to person. The viewer is left guessing right up until the very end, when the alien reveals itself. However, I won't spoil that one for you. That's an episode you really need to check out for yourself and try to guess along until the very end. It's such a well-written episode, especially because Rod Serling is combining a whodunit sort of mystery with sci-fi spookiness. You become part of the action, trying to figure out who the alien really is, and you start looking for patterns or details in order to figure it out. And just when you think you know who the alien is, you will be surprised. Stay tuned for part 2 of the best Twilight Zone episodes.